Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is top of the bubble, or you could also say, these are the good old days. In other words, our world, in a way, has really already changed, but the changing has not stopped. It's going to continue, and that's what we're going to talk about today. It is mostly about the food shortage. Some of these you've heard, some of them you probably have not heard. So this comes to us from usawatchdog.com, and it says we are at the top of the bubble. Finance and economic expert says a new rule has happened called Net Stable Funding Requirement. At the Bank of International Settlements, the price of gold and many other commodities is going higher because of this Net Stable Funding Requirement. This new rule will stop paper contracts from conjuring a supply of gold, silver, and many other commodities out of thin air. I think the real big thing is the big change is going to be in the second half of this year, meaning 2021. He says, with these two things coming together, only one thing can happen. The dollar goes down, down, down. Well, what has Shane Warren said? It's going to be blowing in the wind, worthless as leaves. What has Coverstone said? He saw the flag going down, burning, and 1/3 of it burned, and he heard the taps in the background. So there's been many people have seen this. As a matter of fact, I'd say that's a major thing that we've got to understand. The dollar, by the way, not just the dollar, all coins, all paper currency are all going away. We're going to the new QFS, the quantum financial system. The old SWIFT system, ruled by the Moloch and Baal worshippers, is being taken down. That's a good thing. And I'd like to think that the new thing is a good thing. I think it will be a good thing for a brief period. That is until Lucifer takes care of control of that too. He goes on to say, the dollar's going to go down, down, down. People will get frightened and think we have no gold. It will just shoot up. In other words, the price of gold, he says, is going to shoot up. Now remember, I'm not giving financial advice here. This is a prophecy program. But Shane Warren said he heard the audible voice of God say that silver would skyrocket. Silver, not gold, would skyrocket. He says this has gotten to the point where we can't go any further. We are at the top of the bubble. What happens when this market drops out? The dollar will go with it. Now, I covered this yesterday, so I'm not going to read all of it, but just the point is the headline. Experts say prices at grocery stores will continue to rise for over a year. Well, expensive groceries is a whole lot better than no groceries. But what the prophecies say is no groceries, or to very little groceries. It's not just a matter of whether it costs more. What they're saying is they won't be there. It's official. Now, I covered this yesterday, so I'm just going to remind you. Russia is now exited the U.S. dollar. This is back in June. It says Russia to exit the U.S. dollar assets and its wealth and fund. Why? Because the dollar is dying. It's another sign saying that the dollar is dying. Here's another one. Oh, well, here, let me jump to this. As you know, I already told you this story. This past Monday, my son, Sean, that runs our Topeka Prophecy Club office, called. He says, Dad, it rained this weekend, and we are now up to 6 buckets. 6 buckets of water dripping through our roof. We bought the building in 2000, and it still has the same roof on it. No telling how old it was there then. Anyway, but as you can see, this is one estimate, $16,520 to put on a new roof. And so if God has blessed you and you can help us with that, that would be a wonderful thing. Now, there's more. So a couple of months ago, David Phillips had a dream, which I'll quickly cover for you in a second, saying that we needed to have a sign and told us what the sign needed to look like and how it needed to be constructed. So we've ordered a company in the DFW area to put up a sign of the church, and as you can see, the balance is $6,000. Now, this was the dream I'll quickly cover. Basically, he saw that we needed to have a dream, and it needed to have 2 words in it, the word prophecy and then current events. I guess that would be 3 words, prophecy and current events. And he says we're not attracting people to our church because they don't know any difference between our church and the other churches. And he's right. He says, you're trying to compete with the other churches like the other churches. He said, you need to let them know that you're not like the other churches, that at this church, they'll get the Bible, King James, but they're also going to get prophecy and current events. And so that was part of it. He said he said this before we put up a sign, he said he saw people beginning to stream in. And of course, I think that the streaming is probably from a lot of the trouble that's about to start. But anyway, this is what our building will look like when the sign is in. Right now, there is no sign here. These words here do not exist. That's just brick across there. Our only sign is this little one here, and then a little one here, and then a little one here. And it's been that way for 17 years. And I might say it looks like it because we only have maybe like 30 to 50 people. 50 people is a real packed day. And I don't think it's that we're not a very good church. I think that they don't know where we are. This is the thing I think will bring in the most people because these are cars going through the Whataburger. This is where they pulled up to Whataburger to take their order, to give their order. And as they are here, we'll have our sign up there, and this can be a nice lighted sign. And I think that will cause the church to really, really grow. So the cost of the sign is $16,000, and to put on a new roof is the sign is $6,000. The roof is $16,000, as you saw. Now, let's go back to our topic today. I believe that the summary of some of the prophecies say that the dollar is now in a death spiral. As of August 24th, due to Saudi Arabia's agreement with Russia, saying that now Russia is going to protect Saudi Arabia instead of the U.S. military, and also the can't say that word, the checks from the government stopped September 1, so it was 12 million Americans have now been cut off from checks that are supposed to be arriving from the government. Let me remind you that Terry Bennett said when the checks from the government stop coming to the people, chaos will ensue. So that's one of many signs saying it's all about to happen. Again, we're at the top of the bubble. Food shortages on the way. I really believe that. Got 9 different dreams. We're going to cover some of them today. Sent to me all this year saying that there's about to be a food shortage. I didn't say high prices. None of them say it's just high prices. They all say food shortage. So also, according to the 2-cow prophecy, the 7 years of famine, I believe, started September 6, 2021. And I do believe that. So I will say this. If you need storage food, we'll send you to heavensharvest.com, promo code STAN. If you need an EMP Shield device to protect your computer chips, so if there is a suitcase nuke that goes off near your house or your car still starts, your house, your computers and things like that, and your refrigerators still work. It doesn't fry all the computers or the computer chips. And if you need some kind of gold or silver, we'll send you to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. Now, if you read this here, we're not giving financial advice. It's a Bible prophecy program. Jason Meeks, 5/11/2021, had the following dream. He said, Stan and I and 20 other people were in the back of a grocery store, and the group walked from the back to the main store to purchase some Tang, which should have cost about $1, but now the price was $5.99, so that's gone up from $1 to $6. That's, I think you say that's a 6-time increase. Now, remember that because that's important. That's what other people see, too. We saw the prices of goods on the shelf were at least 30 to 40% higher than just last week. We bought the item, headed back to the back, but instead of being full of stock, it was all cleaned out. There were crackers, canned goods, non-perishable food, all kinds of random items, all new. One man was selling the goods at super high prices, not trying to cheat people, just trying to survive for his family. This was his only job, reselling items he had recently purchased just to try to make a little profit. Jason Meeks again. In this dream, I was lifted up in the sky, and I saw an outline of the state of Texas. I saw 3 nuclear detonations hit Dallas, Fort Worth, and Lubbock. Now, him living in Kentucky, never being to Texas, he had to look at a map to see which cities they even were. He said, after the explosions, I saw people walking. Why are they walking? Because the EMP pulse fried the computer chips in the car. No cars on the road. People were walking to the cities for refuge. And what were they looking for? Food, my brothers and sisters, food. The most important commodity is going to be food. Food, water, the basis of life and safety for themselves and their families. In the city, there were saved Christians, mostly people who would at least listen to the gospel, or even if they didn't understand, all the people were helping each other and sharing the resources. The yet to be saved were not eager to share, but they also knew they'd have to, or they'd be kicked out of the city. When everyone entered the city, they were given a copy of the Ten Commandments and told to learn them and follow them if they wanted to stay there. There was no army, just a few sheriffs, no courts or judges. Sheriffs were godly men, didn't allow two sets of rules, same for everybody there. Now let's jump to David Phillips, again, 2021. I had a dream and my family went out to a vacation. Okay, they just went on a vacation. This happened, and that's another thing. All of these pretty much are saying it happens like real quickly, almost like overnight. In other words, yesterday is okay, today it's not okay. Family went on vacation, rampant inflation started. It was like they were living in the Old West. One person was selling Ritz crackers individually, $1,000 per cracker. That's dollar bills blowing worthless as leaves, blowing in the wind. The main thing that people wanted was food. People had no money. They were bartering for food. People would steal anything they could get their hands on, even out in the open. They were willing to risk extreme danger to do it. The single most important item was food supplies, especially non-refrigerated foods. Now, this is Leslie Johnson, again, 2021. All these are from 2021. I saw a lot of people represented the church, and they were in an amusement park. Well, that's where America is right now. Maybe not so much of an amusement park since we got hit with the V here back in March of 2020. But that's the way Americans are. They think everything's a big party, okay? I just want to have fun. Everything was fun. Then they started getting very, very hungry. All the restaurants and the food availability was gone. What are they saying? What is every one of them saying? They're not saying high prices of food. They're saying no food. Gone. I'll read it again. Everything was fun, but they started getting very, very hungry. All the restaurants and the food availability was gone. They were not able to get the food. They were not able to get the food. They were not able to get the food. I know you're listening to that. At this amusement park, said they were leaving in droves. But when they left without their shoes. Why? They were all barefoot and very hungry. Why'd they take their shoes off? Maybe for food? They were all looking for food, begging even one piece of bread to give them. They were searching for something. They were searching for the one and only one that could feed them. Hopefully, Jesus. Hopefully, that's them turning to Jesus. Dana Coverstone, 2021 again. The dream started with a sunny day and Wall Street in the background. Everything was clean and proper and businesslike, so saw normally dressed people on the sidewalk standing behind 6 to 8 foot long white tables. Behind the tables were live chickens, fenced areas, horses, rack of eggs, tools, various meat and food vendors. There were customers lined up buying, trading, and bartering. Buying, trading, bartering. What does that tell you? Buying, trading, bartering. It tells me the dollar's gone, or the dollar is worthless. Everything lines up, doesn't it? I saw a man walk up with 5 12-gauge shotgun shells in his hand. He traded them for 10 small chickens. A lady walked up and traded 5 hammers for 15 boxes of screws and bolts. A gentleman in a very expensive suit with a nice watch traded in it for 15 horses. The man trading the horses said it was worth 30 horses instead. There were no vehicles on the roads. No vehicles on the roads. Are you hearing something similar between all of these? Why are there no vehicles on the roads? Because people would rather walk? No. Out of gas? No. EMP from the suitcase nukes fried their computer chips. I'm telling you, I would rather walk. I mean, I may have to suck the gas out of the tanks because there's no electricity to pump them out, but I prefer to have a car that runs. As the old saying says, the one-eyed man rules in the kingdom of the blind. Meaning, if you have a car when no one else has cars, or when you have food when no one else has food, that gives you a very big advantage. A lot of soul-winning opportunities there. There are no vehicles on the road, but plenty of people riding bikes and skateboards, and everyone is treating each other with respect and kindness. Well, that's where it was there, but don't expect it to be that way everywhere. A lady walked up and seemed frustrated, and she needed eggs desperately. Another lady just grabbed 10 eggs, handed it over to her, and she cried because of it. Now I'm going to skip down. Then the man, which I believe as an angel, came to him, unfurled an umbrella, and stood under it to shield himself from the rain that was not pouring on the ground. You're not as prepared as you need to be. I'll read that again. You're not as prepared as you need to be. Now, who's he talking to? Is he just talking to Coverstone, or is he talking to all of us? I'm afraid he's talking to all of us, my brothers and sisters. I want to believe I'm prepared, but you know what? I think that big finger is pointing at me too. I think none of us are as prepared as we need to be. You're not as prepared as you need to be. So hearken to my word, embrace. Don't barter with my word, or I would say don't sugarcoat it, or don't water it down. That's the way we would say it. Don't barter with my word, as you will come up short. Means tell the truth, speak the truth, get the warning out. David Phillips again, 2021 again. I dreamed we're eating at a restaurant with friends and having a good time, and the waitress accidentally gave us the wrong menu, saying that food actually should have been more expensive. But since it was their mistake, they'll go ahead and honor those lower prices. We were getting better prices than most people. She also said that they were low on some of the food items, so there's a food shortage. So one of the things we'll see when we start seeing this is a food shortage. Is there a food shortage? I'm telling you, I'm hearing it on the news now every day. We got 62 tankers parked off of the West Coast that can't seem to get unloaded. They're saying Christmas is gone. Food shortage. It's here. It's not fairy tales, but look, this was several months ago that he got this dream. Mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses will let a thing be established. I think this is established. Low on some items, such as chocolate. We were annoyed picking other items on the menu. The staff was working hard to please and keep the business running. Then we began to watch a movie showing outside. Halfway through, it was abruptly turned off. Everything went dark. The restaurant announced they were closing right now, as in stand up, walk out. Immediately, everyone had to get up and walk out, saying they would be closed for 6 months. Closed for 6 months? How would the restaurant know they're going to be closed for 6 months? I'll tell you, my idea is, I think it's because the government says everybody got to close for 6 months, and it may be because there's a new V out. I started to say the word, which we can't say. Everyone panicked. They were all in a shock. We all stood to our feet, gathered our loved ones, and left. Jason Meeks, 2021 again. In this dream, I was a local deli where I eat sometimes. My meal was usual $13. I made the usual order, but today the cost was $75. Now, divide 13 into 75, I think you'll come up with 6. So now we have 2 different occasions where they saw that the dollar was worth 1/6. Means that it went up 6 times to get the same food. And he said to get both meals at $150. Hal Turner, 2021, intentional food shortage. The United States Department of Agriculture is intentionally creating a food shortage. They're sending destruction letters. Now, let me tell you about this. I put this out once before, and we got a couple of phone calls at the office, got a couple of emails. This is not true. Well, actually, it is. I got several other emails sending me out, so yes, it is true, because I got one. I've got friends out here, so I got one. Meaning it didn't go to everybody. Okay, so I understand, but it did go to some. So let's read it. Agriculture is intentionally creating a food shortage. They're sending destruction letters to American farmers, not all of them, to American farmers telling them that they have X number of days to destroy their crops in the ground, for which they will then be paid 1.5 times the crop value, or face losing farm subsidies, which will bankrupt the farm. Yes, we have had that confirmed. Now, this is a really scary one. I'd like to be able to tell you, this is probably not true. But you know, the Bible says that the Holy Spirit will guide us into all truth. And as we read through this, I think the Holy Spirit's going to confirm to you just like it confirms to me. It's true. Byron Searle, 2020. In this vision, the radio talk show host became very serious in his tone and stated that he was being reported that several large cities were in a lockdown because of the V, which was now rampant and mutating. Isn't that what it did? Now look at the date. In the last year, isn't that exactly what happened? It's exactly what happened, okay? Rampant mutating. People being ordered to stay inside their homes or apartments. Happened. I saw what looked like a riot taking place. Parking lots jammed, packed with vehicles. Car doors left wide open. People all over wildly running about. I watched people running as fast as they could in almost every direction, screaming and shouting hysterically. I was observing complete and utter chaos and hysteria. Not one person was calm. All were running about, yelling, screaming, crying. I asked, "What's going on? What's going on?" The local National Guard were planning martial law, ordering and advising everyone they have to stay in their homes. We've seen that, but this is saying it's going to get a lot worse, just like David Phillips said he saw in his dream. He told me that nearly all of the store shelves were already empty of food, water, and also other goods. He said that the people in the stores were acting like crazed, rabid animals, throwing cans of food at each other, stealing each other's carts. I went in, and it was complete chaos and wild fighting. People at the checkout lines were yelling and screaming at the cashiers because their debt and credit cards were not working. Why were the debt and credit cards not working? Well, Stan, maybe that's because the dollar's worthless as leaves blowing in the wind, or you got the second idea? Could be that the suitcase nukes went off and fried all the electronics, and so nothing electronic works, including the cars, including the computers in the houses, and the credit card machines. And that means also the electricity's off. Does that make sense? Okay. Credit cards not working in the machines, and they had no cash. People began to bypass the register, just run out of the stores without paying for the food. Notice the word food. What are they looking for? Gas? No. Electricity? No. Food. Paying for the food in their carts. I saw people attacking people who were running out with the food. Waiting mobs of people grabbed and beat the people who were leaving the store with the food, taking all of their food and leaving the people injured and lying on the ground. Shelves emptied in minutes like a pack of ravenous wolves or frenzied sharks fighting over food. Unbelievable to watch this take place. Everything in the store totally destroyed. Doors pulled off hinges. Refrigerator and freezer sections broken down, thrown all over the floor. Shelving units pushed over, knocked over, broken up. No food left at all, anywhere on any shelf. Everything totally gone. Wiped out. Gone. People began running back into the stockroom in search for more food as the store was now being cleared out. They began tearing all of the boxes and pallets apart, looking for food. Many of the boxes contained water, or paper products, and cleaning supplies, but all that was thrown aside since people were looking for food. Food. I saw them find pet food, take it because it was still food. They thought they hit the jackpot when they found pet food. Americans eating pet food? Well, it's better than starving. I saw some people from the local churches with a terrified look on their faces, crying because they were too late and there was nothing left. And I asked, well, why didn't you prepare for any of this? After all, many watchmen have been warning you for years what was to come. Guess what they said? Oh, no, we don't have to worry because we're going to pre-trib. Oh, well, no, they didn't actually say that. No, did they? They said, I thought we would be gone before anything bad happened. What's that? Pre-trib. I'm telling you, the biggest thing I fight, the one single biggest barrier to truth, they say, is the belief that you already have it. See, the pre-tribbers will not listen. They will not believe because every prophecy expert, all of the pastors, they're all in agreement. No, it's a pre-trib rapture. Well, that's not what the prophecies say. That's not what the prophets say. But there's going to be a hard reality slapping them in the face one of these days. Now, I have a book out called How Pre-Trib Won, and it gently and kindly goes through and explains all of that. You should get it if you're pre-trib. People fighting over what little remained. We began to hear gunshots. In America, oh yeah, bullets began flying everywhere. Many people were being hit. No one came in to their aid. Just left them on the floor, bleeding, injured, dying. People taking food items from other people. Total chaos. They were taking food from people who had been shot, running out of the store. The clerks had all run away for fear of their lives. People were taking anything that was not tied down. Why, we saw this last year. No, we didn't see it this bad last year. We didn't see it this bad all over last year. But we're about to see it. Walmart, a total war zone. Gun battles in the store, parking lot. People dead and lying on the floor. people running into TJ Maxx, dollar store, their small food sections. People even ran into the movie theater and fighting over the popcorn and candy. It seemed as if in 1 hour, see, it all says it happens very quickly. Maurice Sklar says it happened overnight. It seemed as if in 1 hour, everything had gone from normal to complete utter chaos and insanity. I was then reminded by the Lord that He told me many times over the past years that this would be the case, that life as we knew it would change suddenly. Hear that word, suddenly. And those that were not prepared would not believe it. I saw National Guard vehicles arriving. They quickly swooped in, now listen to this, and shot anyone holding a weapon. They shot anyone holding a weapon. The clampdown had begun, and no one would be allowed on the street. Everyone must stay inside or be shot. Then the vision ended. Then I heard the Lord say, "Why have you not prepared?" Wow. Why have you not prepared? HeavensHarvest.com, promo code STAN, CornerstoneAssetMetals.com, say Prophecy Club, EMPShield.com, promo code Prophecy. Charles Turner, 2020. I saw people robbing each other, breaking into each other's homes, stealing things from cars on the street, stealing food. Do you hear that word, food? And taking things from each other by force, willing to die for it. I said, what's going on? From above me, I heard a loud voice say, bloodshed. I was shown more people shooting each other. And, by the way, this is not the same guy. Okay, we're good. I mean, the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. How many times we have to hear it to believe it? I was shown more people shooting each other. Everyone carrying guns in the street. No police anywhere. Why? Well, because the police have been embarrassed, humiliated, defunded, dismissed. I mean, right now, who wants to be a police officer? Be spit upon, lasers shining in your eye? No police anywhere to police the issue or to bring order. It was complete chaos. Then, May 27th, 2016, I was in my prayer closet. I asked the Lord, thank you so much for giving us all of these prophecies about the future. But they're really all bird's eye prophecies. In other words, they're like real close-ups. Would you mind giving us, they're bug's eye, bug's eye? Would you mind giving us a bird's eye overview? In other words, kind of an overview of kind of where we're going. Well, he did. So the next morning, Pastor Massey calls me and he said, I had a dream last night. I grabbed my computer, I get ready to type it up. He said, but I don't understand it. I said, well, tell me the dream. Well, I understand it because it was an answer to my prayer. Because I said, Lord, thank you for the bug's eye view, but we need a bird's eye view. We need an overview, and here is the overview. He said the first thing was we were plowing. Very nice things are happening, and I thought it was very interesting that he says 7 years of plenty. Since I may be the only one that really deciphered the 2 cows prophecy that says there's 7 years of plenty, which will be followed after that with 7 years of famine. Good things happening, like 7 years of plenty. Then we came home. Someone dropped off 2 children in my house, and one girl thought that we were the best people to take care of these people because they were scared that they would have no food. Do you hear that? Do you hear that as a central theme through all of them? No food. Didn't say high-priced food. It said no food. That's what they all say. No food. There was no food where they were living. I was sitting there and someone came to my home. In other words, these are different pictures, okay? Someone come to my home and said, and to try to hurt these children. And they said, let me talk to you. And I said, well, before I talk to you, let me get my gun. Meaning, the police have been defunded. There is no police. If you're going to be safe, it is going to be you that is protecting you. Let me get my gun because I don't want to talk to you without my gun, he said. So I got my gun, loaded it with 3 cartridges, and talked to them. Now, the next scene is American Christian refugees, probably after the Russians have attacked. There was a main road in front of my house, and I saw a herd of people walking down the road. So many people, like a herd of cows or sheep, the road was packed. They were close together like sardines. Then the final picture is the tribulation. I saw that they began to get chopped up. I mean, like only a few of them, like maybe 1 or 2 out of 1,000 were spared. I saw like this chopper thing, some kind of a chopping machine, chopping them in half, chopping their heads off. I thought, whoa, this must be the end time. Only a few people spared. Then we went into hiding. Now, in summary, you can look at this and you can get scared. You can look at this and you say, oh no, my world is gone. Or you can say, Lord, I ask you to help me to get prepared. But more than anything, I ask you to use me to be a soul winner. Because all of this, the whole tribulation is to bring trouble to people so that they'll quit relying on themselves and on their own arrogance, their own strength, so that they realize that they need a Jesus. And so that they'll stop sinning, they'll repent, and finally ask Jesus into their heart. That's the whole point of all of this. So rather than just thinking of ourselves, yes, we need to get prepared. I'm fully in agreement with that. But we need to get prepared not just for our family, but be prepared as one to where, and they say, how'd you know this is coming? How'd you know to get this? Because I knew what was coming. Because I read the Bible and I listen to God's prophets. And as a result, I say, okay, you have my attention. What else do I need to know? Jesus. That's what you need. You need Jesus. We all need Jesus. Let me conclude with this. So I've got a 21-year-old building in Topeka, Kansas, that now when it rains, it requires 6 buckets to catch the water. Stan, why'd you let it go so long? Because I don't even know. Why? It's too. The point is, I got 6 buckets catching water. It's about $16,000-$17,000 for a new roof. We got a sign about to be put in our church. So if you can help us, if God has blessed you, then please do. On the other hand, I don't want you to feel bad if you can't help. I understand that too. But also, I'll say this, that I've discovered that the way out of financial trouble is through giving, because it breaks the flesh and shows our belief in God. Lord, show them what you would have them to give. In Jesus' name, amen. And then bless them. Click like, share, and subscribe. Now, I want to make it easy for you to follow Prophecy Club, and probably the easiest way is to download our app. So let me just show you. Here's how you do it. You get your cell phone. This is my granddaughter here. Get your cell phone, and you click on the app. It looks like this if you have an iPhone. I don't have a Google or an Android phone, so I don't know what this looks like. I assume it looks like this. But you click on the apple. You click on this symbol right here. You search Prophecy Club. And then you make sure you click on the emblem that looks like this. Download it. Now, it downloads in like 10 seconds, but it really takes more like 3 to 5 minutes because you've got to populate all of these past broadcasts. But then when you have it, you can open it and you can click on a broadcast. It starts playing. If you get a phone call, it pauses the broadcast. You talk on the phone. When you're done, it starts the broadcast again. Very, very nice. So go down there and check that out. Jack Clooney is a ranking authority on Satanism, witchcraft, white supremacy, and other forms of cult and occult activity. He's helped investigators from the FBI, CIA, OSI, Barter Patrol, dozens of police and sheriff's organizations across America in occultic-related crimes. Hear the truth about things like bobbing for apples, trick-or-treat, jack-o'-lantern, and more. Don Marquis was raised in an Illuminati family, trained as an Illuminist, attained the rank of Master Witch, 3rd degree. He's been a Christian since 1979, has appeared on many shows. He reveals how all American holidays are designed using an occultic numerical pattern originating from the Illuminati. Discover the real truth behind the popular holidays of Christmas, Easter, Halloween, and more in America's occult holidays. Stephen Dollins, an ex-Satanist high priest, exposes the subtle devices used to infiltrate the homes of Christians to introduce witchcraft and Satanism. Discover the evil truth behind today's crazes, movies, video games, role-playing fantasy games. These devices initiate our children into the world of occult by making evil appear to be cute, such as Teletubbies, Pokemon, various children's books in the occult in your living room. This will shock you. Stephen reveals the truth and the true origins behind Christmas, Easter, Halloween, the most celebrated holidays. Topics include Christmas, birth of Jesus. Is it really? Is Easter celebrating the resurrection of Christ? What is the hidden agenda behind Halloween in Occult Holidays Revealed? Then Bill Sneblin, a former voodoo priest, Wiccan high priest, second-degree church member, Church of Satan, New Age guru, occultist, channeler, 90th-degree Mason, Knight Templar, vampire, and a member of the Illuminati. He used to be a vampire and explained vampires and werewolves and the fact that they are real, he says. It is wrong and needs to be exposed in Vampires and Werewolves, Real or Fake. All of these available at prophecyclub.com, and these are available for a gift of $90, or for the month of October, you can watch them by signing up at watchprophecyclub.com. Watchprophecyclub.com. It's $20 a month or $200 a year. You get to watch over 250 different Prophecy Club DVDs. If you haven't checked it out, I believe you're making a mistake. You should go and watch. You'll be shocked to see how much is available for just $20 a month. Terry Sock is a prophecy student, and he reads his King James Bible, and he believes in winning souls so much he is supporting the Prophecy Club so that we can win more souls. So if you want to support someone that loves prophecy and wants to win souls, I'm going to send you to cornerstoneassetmetals.com, where you can get all sorts of precious metals, gold, silver, rhodium, palladium, and things like that. cornerstoneassetmetals.com.